Hello, my fellow heavy metal whores. How you
Hello,
doing?
hello.
What's up, Chop?
So you find the link?
Yes, I did, sir.
Uh,
So,
The
obvious.
Hallowed comes out on the 23rd. And here is the
Oh,
new postcard.
Ooh,
Oh,
This
nice.
one is glow in the
Wow.
dark. Yes, sir. Glow in the dark. Yes.
Wow,
You get
so
all sorts of goodies he gets.
we're
Doesn't
way
he?
ahead of schedule then. We got this early.
No, but see, this will be released on. I'm cutting it in early. We're going to be releasing this
Oh.
on the 23rd.
Okay,
I gotcha.
sorry, buddy. Yeah, now I got. Okay.
Yeah, I kind of figured. But yeah, we're getting this
Yeah.
like way early. This is great.
Should we do this thing?
Let's
do
go.
it.
All right.
Howdy, this is David Sanchez, and you are listening to and or watching Heavy Metal Horror.
I am Montag, master of illusion. What goes up must come down, but not always.
And I'm Chop, and this one's on holy ground, so bring your holy water, motherfucker.
Okay, and Dreadbull.
The slightly more lucid Dreadbull. And you are watching and listening to Heavy Metal Horror.
I like how we do that completely out of sync every time.
Yeah.
It's great.
It's like, how hard is it?
Yeah.
How hard is it to say these things at the same time? Is there a delay?
Apparently, it's very difficult.
Apparently.
Might be a delay. So
I mean,
we'll
we
blame
do
it on
that-
the delay.
We
We'll
do
blame
that
it on
all
the
the
delay.
time intentionally in Unsane Radio to create the Unsane Radio wave effect. It's just us. It's like we're just being out of sync. We're just very
Yeah,
out of
you
sync.
know,
But hey,
we're all about low budget cheese. So there you go.
yeah,
It's
but-
all in.
I
But-
love cheese.
we love cheese, but tonight, kids, we've got a very special
Good
episode.
cheese.
This is far beyond cheese. Okay, I don't even know. We're going to separate the curds from the wheys, and tonight we're doing a live reaction of an album that drops today. Our good friend Mark Bridie from Jag Panzer and Liz Ciavarella Brenner. That's their PR person, their person for the U.S. rep. Sent us a copy of Jag Panzer's new album, The Hallowed. Yes, and we are going to be doing a live reaction to it, live listen to, and this album comes out today. So I want to thank Liz for sending us the link. I want to thank Mark for allowing us to listen to this record. We're excited. We're fans. And
Mark has been
Mark's
so good to us.
he is.
He's been really good to us.
Yeah. And he's a fan of the show, which I'm still staggers
figure.
my
I don't know.
mind. And
Makes no
speaking
sense.
of the cool, well, here's the back of the. Oh, got my name. I can't show my name.
Oh, you
Gotta blur that. I have to cut that
Oh,
out
yeah.
now. Speaking of cool, someone's gonna hunt me down. Hey, Montag, I want to drink your blood. This is the new postcard that Jag Panzer sent. Ooh, look at that beauty.
Beautiful.
Look at that. Oh, with the monsters and the bats. Oh, the Hallowed coming June 23. That's today. That's today. And what is really cool about this, kiddies, is this is glow in the dark. Yes, I love glow in the dark stuff. So yes, the Hallowed. So we are
Great
going to be
swag.
giving a listen. And time to share the screen. Share the sound. You have to let me know if it's loud
nervous.
enough.
What if this sucks really bad? No, I'm kidding.
Yep.
It won't.
Right. I'm gonna tell Mark. Yeah.
I said, what if? You
What
know,
if?
I'm just scared.
Yeah.
Scares me a little bit.
I think it's gonna be good. From the signals that have come
yeah.
out so far.
I have full confidence here.
Oh yeah. These bands, like we were just talking a little bit before the show, like some of these bands that have been around for a while, maybe take a break, kind of come back in. As this person we're going to be interviewing for our next show, they come back stronger than ever.
Yeah,
and
rejuvenated.
yeah, and I don't know what it is. I'm excited about it. I'm excited to talk about it, but here we are. Jag Panzer. This is the link to the download. Oh, do not share this link. Fuck, it's right there. I'm gonna have to fix that too.
Oh my God, dude! You have to blur that out or something.
Yep. Don't worry.
Jesus.
Don't worry. Hey, I got software. I can blur it out. Don't you worry none.
Professional.
Yeah, I can just blur it out.
Work.
Get one of your.
Oh
team
no,
of
that's
the
okay
team.
because it's
Take
today.
care of
It
it.
releases today, so you don't.
Yeah,
have
but
to
they
worry
still
about it.
don't want people going to the link. They'd rather have them go buy it.
Oh, good
Yeah.
point.
Go buy the album.
Buy it. Don't be
All right.
cheap.
Yeah, support your band.
Jeez Louise.
That's
Just
right.
because we got it for free.
Yeah.
You can't have it for free. Mark likes us.
That's right. Oh, we're gonna have to do a lot of editing on this show.
This could be
They're
a
gonna
dicey
like,
one.
we're not coming back.
Could
on
be a
this
little
show.
dicey.
It's gonna be a little embarrassing. They're like, Mark, are you sure you like these guys? I don't know. All right, but that Dreadbull, no.
Something's wrong with that guy.
Okay. I'm gonna play. Hopefully, you will hear the sound. I'm gonna crank it up.
Well, if not,
me-
it'll just be a part of the show. We
Yeah,
mess
right,
up,
right.
Nothing
I'll
works
just,
right.
I'll just edit to make
Whatever.
it look like we know what we're doing half the
We're-
time.
Edit
It's
us to
the
competence.
appearance of competence. That's right. That's our next
The
podcast.
facade.
On the next the facade of competence. All right. Well, I think here we go. This is Jag Panzer. The first track is called Bound as One.
Let's do it. We'll do it live. I hear it.
We will last through the frost, all the muck and the mire, ever paying the cost. It's a trial by fire. Standing together as one single mind, leaving our differences far behind. Flying or crawling, we're taking the day, facing all challenges, having our ride. You can trust in our might. We'll both weather this night. Deadly forces our way. We will conquer this day. Standing together as one single mind, leaving our chains and our bonds far behind. Flying or crawling, we're taking the day. Facing all challenges, having our ride.
Ooh, that's what the song was.
We are stronger together. There is a bond that is so much more than trust. We depend on each other to make it through whatever We are long for our home, a new place want to roam. Beyond this frozen wasteland, it is there we will stand. Standing together as one single mind, leaving our differences further behind. Flying or crawling, we're taking the day, facing all challenges, having our ride. Standing together as one single mind, leaving our
right.
Great opener.
All right, Boundless
Yeah.
One.
Great
yeah,
opener.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, the production value was incredible.
Yeah.
You hear
Love
everything.
the sound.
Yes, sound is awesome. The twin lead guitars carrying that melody.
Yep.
Sounds wonderful. With some double bass stuff in there. Time changes, slow down. Vocal range is crazy good.
Love those high notes. That's so old school metal. you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it
Good
came out of
80s
that-
metal.
Yeah, it came out of that solo,
Vocals.
and there was like that ascension, that kind of ascension riff before it went right back into like the last verse or chorus. And I was like, oh, very Maiden, that's really cool. Yeah, the
Mhm.
solo is fantastic, and wow, what vocals by Harry the Tyrant Cockman. Huh?
The Tyrant.
Yeah.
Excellent opening track. It kind of
Yeah.
grabs you. You're like wondering, you hear the sound effects, and it's like, oh, okay. Then boom, you're just taking off, and it doesn't let up. You know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was
great
going to mention
track.
those guitars carrying the melody. I love that. I love those dual
Yeah.
guitars. You know.
Yeah.
It's so Maiden. Such a throwback sound. Great
let's-
opener.
Let's
Yeah.
Love
let's get back to the show. That will all be edited out.
Right.
Is that your edit?
Yeah. So in case I forget, right, which I will not. But yeah, what a great opener. Grabs you
Yeah.
by the neck, doesn't give away, let go. And it sets up the whole album, I think, for good things to come. All right. The next song is called Pray.
We sent out scouts looking for food, shelter, or other people. We didn't know what we would find, but we knew there was nothing here.
Depending on the eyes of all to guide us through this wasteland.
Hey. All
Dude,
right.
this is such a throwback, man. Like this this takes me right back to like Z-Rock days in the 80s, you know? Like this song would have gotten played incessantly on Z-Rock back in the day.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh,
You're reading my
I
mind,
just
man,
love
because it
this.
was like when I was thinking like, okay, we've been listening to a lot of metal, and we a lot of new metal, by newer like bands that have come out in the last decade, and the style of metal that they play, and the production value is overall has gotten much better with recording techniques and technology and those kinds of things. And Jag Panzer is benefiting from that technology, but it still sounds like a band that's been around since the 80s. It's got that sensibility of like, this is classic metal. And the way that we appreciate metal, from that just opening bass riff, that just kind of the sparse, got a guy singing, you got a guy playing bass, just the one note over it. And then just has heavy riffs that just kind of bludgeon you, the guitars, like,
Yeah, it's a beautiful clean mix, but they've like left a raw edge to it. There's a little bit of rawness there to make it feel like that classic rock. And man, Harry's vocals are fantastic, man. He is nailing it.
I remember Mark would send me Mark Bridie. I don't know if I've ever mentioned this, but we stay in touch through Facebook and Messenger. He was sending me, and we were talking about the recording of the album a few months back. He was sending me pictures and things, and pictures of the drum kit, and on Facebook he was talking about the recording and like the drummer bringing in the special drum kit and the instruments and the amps that they were bringing in, and the guitars, and they were going like old school. They were bringing in like this is a unit I played back in 1987.
Oh, nice.
So they were bringing back like old school instrumentation and microphones and amps and everything to kind of just get back to this raw big sound that you're going to get.
Oh, they nailed it.
Yeah,
100%.
Absolutely nailed it. Yeah. Okay,
So,
that's interesting. I don't know if you told me that or not, but regardless, yeah, that makes total sense.
Yeah.
This sounds like a throwback kind of sound brought to modern technology,
Right.
I really like that the narration that starts out things, just throws you right back to, like when you sit with any concept album and you're just like,
oh man, dude,
fully engaged, with those spoken word parts or those narrations and stuff. So I
Yeah,
thought that was a nice touch too.
we've always been suckers for a good concept album, so
Oh yeah.
this is right in our wheelhouse, man. This is like hitting all the buttons right now.
Yeah, and the theme, we got this post-apocalyptic world, looks a frozen wasteland.
Yeah.
Animals,
what more
and
could you want?
humans, monsters. I mean, come on. This is like, how much more metal can this be? It's like a Spinal Tap moment. How much more metal can this be? And the answer is none. None more metal. Yes. All right, let's continue on with ties that bind. What?
No, you're fine. Sorry. I said all they need is some Frazetta paintings to go
Oh,
along.
yeah.
Well, the artwork's great.
The artwork is really cool, but I totally
makes
get
me
it.
think of some Frazetta stuff,
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna see if I can.
Sorry about that.
You say those loving words, you keep me on a
This is going to be one of those albums, isn't it? Top to bottom, this is going to be good.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm like 16 again. This is
Mhm.
so good, man.
I keep thinking like this is an album that you just want to play loud. You know,
Yeah.
like every song, you just want to hear it louder. You can be in your car driving, you just want to crank it up, or you're in your room. It's just the sound that pulls from us our teenage selves. I think you're right there, Dreadbull. It's exactly right. And one thing I loved about the mix of this album is you can hear the cymbals pretty loudly, the crash cymbals, and especially there's a china that comes in at the there's a break in between like verses, and like you just and I'm like, oh, because sometimes mixes. I know modern metal, and there's a trend in music, especially the heavier music, which I don't understand that where the vocals are getting buried in the mix.
Yes.
And I'm like, why? I want to hear the words. I want to hear what's being said. Like, why write lyrics if we can't hear them? And this, like, everything is mixed, so you hear everything. And the cymbals are really loud. The drums are prominent, and the guitar, those little riffs in between verses. I just love those little riffs.
Well, and the chorus was really majestic. Had like that when you get to Maiden's kind of old choruses, where we always talked before in shows previous about how it's just soaring, right? And this is a prime example of this. And granted, the Tyrant's vocals throughout is just outstanding. So he's really getting up there. So
yeah, I liked after a couple of good aggressive songs, you kind of have this more mid-tempo, a little bit of a break in there. Kind of reminiscent of like Revelations.
Yep.
Sort of the
that
which I freaking love. I mean,
yeah,
great song, put in a great spot on the album. I think so far this has a really cool flow to it.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Man.
Yeah, it's good.
Dang.
So far, 3 tracks in, we're sold.
It's getting better and better as it goes.
Sure is. Okay, track 4, Stronger Than You Know.
Master of the sky, we own it. This is where we play our
right. We
That
got
is a
our break.
burner.
Yeah, that is
Yeah, that had a
ripper.
very that main riff had a very Judas Priest-esque style to it. I
Yeah,
really
right off the
appreciated
bat,
that.
like, ooh, that's very priest
Yeah.
style riff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really
Wow.
fast, aggressive kind of riff. I love the soaring vocals again
Oh yeah.
with those kind of dual leads in the background, kind of underneath. Oh,
I kept on thinking, I want to hear this live. Like this is the song
Yeah,
I want to
yeah.
hear play live.
Yep.
Now, this is a song that Mark and I had talked about a lot because this is, I think, maybe the first one that he sent to me, and we talked about this. Now, in between, like every couple of lines, there's this soaring guitars, either the screaming
yeah.
guitars, woo, or that descending crescendo.
Mhm.
This is a song that's from the point of view, I believe, of the animals. And the birds, you're hearing that screaming of the hawks or the animals, or the screaming of the animals, and then that
Okay.
descending dive is like them flying through the air, like attacking and coming down. So the music is to play along with and to help provide the picture of the animal's point of view and the warfare that's going on here. So that diving sense of like attacking and coming up, and that screaming guitars, those are all meant to reflect the
Represent the
animal's point of view. Yeah.
Oh, that's
Nice.
great. That'd be really interesting next listen to
Mhm.
have that in mind, you know?
Yeah, to hear them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't want to
That's
say anything
really
ahead
cool.
of time. I wanted to give you guys time to reflect on that. But hearing that now, because of the first time, like you're just processing it. And then when Mark said that, I'm like, oh, it makes so much more sense. And now hearing it again, I'm like, yeah, I totally hear that. Because that's one thing we
Very
do not
nice.
have. We don't have the lyric sheet, which when you buy the
Mhm.
album, which you should, you're going to have those lyrics. And so I believe, if I'm right, this is the song told from the point of view of the animals. So that's pretty cool.
That's excellent.
Ooh, man,
Wow.
I'm
Good
exhausted.
God. Not
after
even
that one.
halfway through.
Yeah. That was track 4, stronger than you know. That track was stronger than you know. Now
yeah.
we are on to number 5.
Dude, a
Onward.
great concept album. Like at the end, you feel like you've been on a journey, you know, and this is already shaping up to be that, you know,
Yeah.
you already kind of feel like you're riding through this story, you know, and
Yeah.
man,
Yeah, you're
it's a
within
lot
the
of
story
energy.
itself,
It's a lot of energy in this album.
Oh, yes. Yeah, it's amazing so far. We're 4 tracks in. Where are we gonna go? You know? So we are gonna head to track 5. Onward. We toil. Onward we toil.
The smell of death was in the air. But we had walk. And for that walk, we would sacrifice everything.
Warmer spirits around the bonfire, spoils of war that taste so sweet. Your temples will keep us warm tonight. Roasted flesh provide us feast. Clean water to wash the sins away. We occupy this new turf. Make a mark upon this wasteland, this frozen barren worthless
favorite song so far. Oh, that's got it all. That song's got everything.
Wow.
It's so anthemic.
Dude.
Like
Yeah, right.
that might be like the song to come back for the encore with or something. It's like it's an anthem. Everyone's gonna be
Yeah.
up. It's like singing that chorus that oh,
that
you know.
great groove. You know,
Yeah.
get everybody nodding.
Yep.
You know, get
Yeah.
the head banging
That
going.
main riff, it's so catchy.
Can we address the
solo.
amazing guitar solo that
Holy
went
shit.
on and on?
Yeah.
Now, I don't know who did all the solos. I believe I was in a conversation with Mark and a few other people about one of the guitar solos in particular. I probably misquote this, but it was borrowing from a famous classical musician. If I'm correct, could be wrong here. But as far as the composition of this, it was a nod to someone else or another composition or something to a degree, like there was an influence. And I cannot this where could have very well been it, because it sounded, there were some notes in there and runs that were like like it sounded very, it was like classical music. Like it just went on and on, like
Yeah, it was like 3 times I was getting ready to go, wow, great solo, and it kept going. Like
yeah,
it kept
I
going.
was like, is this
Oh my
Motorhead's
God.
overkill? I'm waiting for it.
yeah.
I love that little break in the middle where they kind of break that beat finally, but then the way they kind of beautifully bring it back into that groove again. Oh, so good.
Yeah, it's kind of
Perfectly
militant.
done.
You know, military with that kind of that drumming and kind of like that staccato rhythm.
Yes.
It reminded me of kind of like Onward We Behold. It was almost like that marching, kind of military marching style, you know?
Yeah, and you're right. Like it's this anthemic sort of chorus.
Big, huge song.
Great song.
Wow. Halfway
okay,
done,
guys. Gee, many
gentlemen.
Christmas. I think they've all gotten better as every song
I'm
top
seriously.
to last.
I mean, honestly, this is a band that just gets better and better. We've said this over and over again with bands we love, Overkill, Testament. They just get better and better with age.
Unbelievable, yeah.
And like these guys are putting out some of the best music of their career right now. This album.
Yeah, how do you at this point in your career, after you've been around for so long, you know, muster up the energy to do this kind of shit? It's
let alone
amazing.
let alone the ability to do it, you know, the competency to do it, not just half-ass. It's like, no,
right.
Nope. This is
no, they're not just resting on what they've always done or what they've always been. Like
No.
this is full throttle, full energy. Yeah, there's nothing lazy about this.
I like
it's amazing.
The narration reminds me of that the narration during Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner. So it kind of sounds like the same person.
yeah, I know Mark was excited. He said the guys were, when they were recording it, everyone was really excited about the album. They thought it was one of their, you know, some of their best music. I'm like, obviously it's showing, you know.
Yeah.
So whatever happened, I can't wait to have them on, and our hope is that they'll be on soon, kiddies. Yeah, I got to talk to him. We got to talk to him about this record, man. This is phenomenal.
Got to know more.
Yeah. All right, so we are going to track 6, Edge of a Knife.
Now what?
It's like the staccato YYZ beginning.
Is anybody out there?
Together we face the days ahead. Forging through this deep and terrible rock.
Galloping beat, man. Yes. So heavy. Stank face.
On we follow, on we love. Trust in each other is the way. Hold our spirits up to carry on. Snow is deep in styles our every move. Loss of limb and life. Now at the ending of the line, it seems more paralyzed ahead. Looking down reveals a fatal fall. We can't return, we're good as dead. Only united are we strong. Looking out for each another's life. We've come so far, no time to stall. Hope is balanced on the edge of the night. There are troubled times and the end they say. We must carry on and chase the clouds away. Hold our courage up, focus on our song. Before you know it, a new day has begun.
Can anyone hear me?
Jeez Louise, man.
Oh my God, that was epic.
Wow. Okay. Maybe that's my favorite now.
Right? I go
I mean,
track,
that had
track, and
everything.
track, and just like I like this one more. And nope, this is the one. You keep going further in the album, you're like, oh my God, this is epic.
We got to
That all
count the
stands.
notes of every solo. I don't think there were enough notes. You know?
They just crammed a solo in every chance he got.
Yes, it's like let's put
Everywhere.
these 30-second notes in here for four measures.
Oh, man.
Yes. Oh my God.
Oh, I love that.
Wow.
You know, that driving, galloping beat,
Yeah.
these soaring solos, choruses, I should say, and then solos everywhere.
How about Tyrant
Oh,
giving you the
dude.
sync bass, getting probably the highest note? And
Yeah, I got some goosebumps there. That
Yeah.
high note.
I
Yeah.
hear you.
Yeah, and the drums play
God,
along
dude.
with that galloping, kind of keep that going. And I'm almost like I lost for words on this one.
I
kind of am too. There's so much
that
going on.
soaring, that
so full.
soaring, raising, the beginning, that kind of, it was really interesting. That kind of SOS, or that radio,
Yeah, telegraph.
that messaging
Yeah,
was
that
coming through.
Morse code.
Morse code.
Yeah.
Reminded me a little bit of the YYZ, thing, but then that kind of that majestic, that sweeping, up. It was like, oh, this is really, really interesting. But then the thrust of the song, that galloping beat, it just like every solo, like holy cats.
Yeah,
That
everybody
band's
was
on
just
fire.
showing off.
Outstanding. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody was just showing off.
Yeah, now you're just getting silly. You're
Yeah.
just wow. Just I'm feeling gobsmacked here,
Yeah.
just crazy good. And we got 4 more songs to go.
Mhm.
Oh, and like every song has its distinct own identity. Like every song is very distinct in its own song. Like nothing is bleeding together. Like there's no sense of like, oh, this kind of all sounds similar.
Theme song.
You know what I mean? Yeah,
Yeah.
right. You get that sometimes with like a concept album, but no.
What's
it's
impressive
amazing.
is we've said it already, but I can't say it enough. The soaring choruses are just fantastic throughout this album.
Love them. Yeah.
Just astonishingly good.
So good.
All right. Well, here we go on to track 7, dark descent.
None of us feared heights. We didn't have the luxury of such fear. The cables led us down into a dark abyss, but they also led us to a new home.
These are trying times. I've never seen us fall. Even when we find our backs against the wall, we band together. Whatever comes our way, face to face and eye to eye, we seize the day. Hell's fire is a long way down. Hold tightly to the light. Look to the sky, unleash your gaze. We will conquer what lies ahead. Face the fall. Face the fall. Face the fall. Hold on tightly, as if our life depends. It's a long way down until the very end. Step by step we crawl, as if we're on our knees. Run by run on this ladder of life we lead. Hell's fire is a long way down. Hold tightly to the light. Look to the sky, unleash your gaze. We will conquer what lies
Bones are getting weary. I can barely catch my breath. Will I find the strength to carry on unto the very end?
I don't know what to say.
He's going crazy. He's going off the deep end with those guitar fills. It's
Wow,
so good.
man. It is, isn't it?
Freaking
It's
love it.
How about that breakdown? When it slowed down, that tempo.
Oh,
Yeah.
that half tempo was really
Oh my
nice.
God.
Just when you
Uh,
thought this was just going to be a good up tempo driving,
Yeah.
sort of another anthem type song. Yeah, this really awesome breakdown in the middle to kind of give you a little something different in
little
there.
breathing room, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, just loving
Yeah.
the flow of this whole album.
Yeah, and one thing I noticed about this record, as opposed to like other, when we started doing these live reactions, our knee jerk is to hear things that we make us think of other bands, like, oh, that is recognizable. And this, while we've heard maybe a couple little things early on, ever since then, it's just been Jag Panzer wall to wall. It's like there's like,
You're right.
it's just Jag
Yeah.
Panzer. It's just
Great point.
excellent. And there's like, nope, it's just its own living thing. It's just kicking us right against the wall in the best way possible. And it's just like, it's fresh and exciting.
Mhm.
You
A
know,
really good point.
That is a great point. Yeah.
and as I've said in other reviews, we all say this. It's like, and it's not that we're trying to say one band is like another. It's just, it reminds us of something that we are familiar with. We're learning new information, so we're connected to get something that we are familiar with. But this album has very little of that, and it's like, oh, okay. Jag
it
Panzer's just
stands
blowing us
alone.
away. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just blowing us away with everything so far. So, wow, we are
More.
all right. Track 8.
Dude, we still got like
We
almost
got
20
3
minutes
tracks.
of
I
music to go.
know. And then this last track is like almost 10 minutes long. I'm like, oh man. So track 8, Weather the Storm.
We have not much further to go. Soon we'll be rid of the snow. Eyes above, see that it's near. That's the best news we've yet to hear. Over the water, it's too far away. A dark fog, some mysterious haze. We must find our way through this mess. Frozen past with silver forgot. Treacherous waters lead us to hell. Unsuspected dogmas help us weather the storm. On the backs of brothers we ride, heavy waves that crash on all sides. Hold on tight, we've a long way to go. To the barn far away from the snow. So strange how far we have come. With the help of our friends all along. Brave warriors that never concede. Now it's all we're taking the lead. Ever pressing onward. A place of unknown. Frozen lakes surround us. Still onward we go. Big floating golfing. An ominous one. We will land together to weather the storm.
Just when you thought it'd be a light solo. Nope.
Steadfast and true.
Can't do it.
Weather the storms. Whatever comes through.
Yeah, again, it's something completely different
That's
than anything else on the album. You know,
Yeah. So different
like a little-
sounding than other tracks. Yeah.
you know what it reminded me of? Not the song itself, but like its placement amongst all the other songs.
Mhm.
It kind of reminded me of like "Can I Play with Madness?"
Oh,
Like
yeah. in a way.
this sort of lighter song,
Mhm.
Yeah.
in amongst all the other much more complex arrangements and stuff.
Yes.
Good point.
And it's it's crazy. Like even the lighter portions, like dun dun. There's the guitar underneath is still going crazy. Little, you know, it's still playing
I
all
was
these
just gonna,
notes.
I was just gonna
It's
say
just
one of
like
the standalone things, standout things. Excuse me, Dread. This track is, I thought it was interesting that running guitar line through the verses.
Yeah,
You know, and I was just like, wow, that's different, refreshing.
yeah.
than
He just
anything else.
cannot contain it. You can't contain
You
him.
can't take 'em. Yeah.
I'm gonna play 30-second notes. I don't care what's
That's
going
right.
on.
It's the slow tempoed song. I don't care.
I don't care.
I've got fingers that want to play.
Fine, we'll just turn your
212
volume down.
beats a
Just
minute.
go
Keep
crazy.
going. Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah, that's a good point there, Dread. Yeah, it is like a light song, and in that Can I Play with Madness, almost like pop friendly in a way. I wouldn't say
Yeah,
that
in
in
a
a derogatory term,
Mhm.
but
No.
it's still there's still substance to it. But
Uh-huh.
considering like the last like previous 5 songs have been, well, 7 songs have been so intense, it's kind of a nice little breather. Like, okay,
Again, its placement here, it's
Yes.
flow with the rest of the album is absolutely perfect. Like this
Yeah.
is a great little breather, like a little moment to,
Yeah.
you know, like
and
okay.
it probably lines in with the concept weather the storm. We're holding things, we're kind of stationary, we're holding out, you know. It probably plays right along into what's happening in the story, is my guess. I mean, they've been
Yeah.
very careful and intentional about creating music that lines up with the lyrical content of songs. So I can see that if we're holed up here, we're going to weather the storm, we're going to hold things out. You know,
Mhm.
it makes sense to be like that. But
Yeah.
yeah, still just the shredding that guitar.
And if I had to guess, Renewed Flame is gonna bring back some aggression. If I just had to take a wild guess here as far as
I'm wondering.
how this album the flow of this album has gone so far, I just feel like, yeah, the intensity is going to return here at some point in this next track.
Would not surprise me.
Let's find out.
Let's find out. Renewed Flame, track 9.
Something's building.
Yeah. Definitely crescendo.
For we have traveled and so much has passed. Still we are together, following the same path. Bags of our brothers lead us to this place. We are all pieces in a lifelong game. Time to choose our places for the replay. Depend upon each other, will get us through the night. Shelter, food, and water are needs to sustain life. Strange, this place is warm inside, when outside is so cold. We are all pieces in a lifelong game.
That's his face, that chorus.
The chorus is amazing. I love it.
Yeah, it was those triplets, man.
No return to yesterday. We'll shed our frozen past. The war wars on tomorrow. Bring peace at last. Release the bonds and chains from us. Let us now go free.
Really interesting song.
Yeah.
Wow.
Again, another unique, all its own kind
Yeah.
of song. The vocals were fantastic.
Fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
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 Man, that chorus, I got stink face during that one. That was just like,
Oh, it's,
Yeah.
it's so good. It digs down deep. You get these really
Mhm.
low end, and I absolutely adore the sound that the crunch they get on the guitars. That distortion
Yeah.
is one of the best distortion sounds that I've heard in a long time. It's what
Absolutely.
still allows the guitar tone to come through, but man, it is a nice crunch sound. So
Yeah.
I have to ask him like, okay, how do you get in this sound? You know, yeah, what a great song.
I mean, yeah, there's no chance of getting bored anywhere on this album, you know?
right. There is something for everybody on it. That's for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And it's all so unique
Mhm.
and interesting, you know, throughout. Oh man.
Yeah, you don't get
this
bored.
is
Yep.
I can't wait to sit down with the lyrics and check this
Yeah.
whole album out.
Mhm.
I
You're gonna be
really wanna
staring
get
at the
immersed
cover.
in the
You're
Yeah,
gonna be-
I want to get immersed in the story. I want to figure
Yeah.
out what that's all
Me too.
about.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cut.
it's really hard to
Cut.
encapsulate it.
It's
Yeah.
just Jag Panzer's sound. It's
Mhm.
you know, there's just like one song a couple times we brought up that little Maiden-esque here, but notice we haven't done that like we told in the last when we reviewed the last song. It's just got Jag Panzer sound. That's how you can
Yeah.
describe it. They definitely got their own identity. So
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, we are down to our last track.
An
Keith.
epic.
An epic.
951.
Yeah. This is going to be
Ugh,
something
what is in
I
store.
last
500
rights.
guitar solos.
There will be many notes.
Here we go. Last rights.
I had never seen blue sky or fruit that wasn't half rotten from a rusty metal tin. We had found what we sought, but the cost was more than we had ever imagined.
Wow. Right.
Love that little register, man. Sounds great. I don't care how slow the song is, I'm playing fast.
Come on, man. Give somebody else a chance.
Days of domination now, hidden from our sight. Straps and whips that scarred our backs have vanished like the night.
Wow, absolute fire, man.
Or we're gonna get one of those long,
I don't know.
one of those long,
Oh.
long nothings with a little.
Thing at the end.
Oh, yeah. Here we go.
Gather around, children. Gather around, everyone. This is the story of the Hallowed. 200 seasons back, the animals of the forest lived among us. They ate with us, slept by our sides, and woke with us each morning. There was no sun then. Frozen winds pierced both man and beast alike. Great walls of twisted metal and ice surrounded the world. The journey through frozen lands was slow and filled with danger. Man and beast worked together, searching.
Whew, all right.
Wow.
So last rites, what do you get? You
Yeah.
get a dirge, like this very
Absolutely.
doomy.
Yeah, that's what I
Uh,
thought. Yeah. Oh my God, epic.
Yeah, the lower register, it took me a couple of verses to get in, make the connection for me. It reminded me emotionally of the David Bowie last album he put out. It's called Black Star, right before he died, and that song Black Star has that kind of dirgy pulsing to it. And he
Yeah, it
sings in a
does.
lower register, and that's like, and when I heard it, I'm like, oh, it's got that same emotional appeal as that, because it's kind of creepy. It's mournful. And then then it just kind of builds from that. And I like that we get the story at the end. We hear a couple hundred years later. Now we're hearing someone telling the tale to the future generations. Like, here's how things used to be. I kind of like that
Yeah.
Me too.
at the end.
And man, another showstopper for the Tyrant too on vocals throughout that one. That was
Yeah.
That
And
had
of course,
really
some of those
goosebumps.
solos, man.
Oh, dude, you can't help but laugh because it's just like, oh, it's so damn good. They're so long, but so
Yeah.
damn good.
I mean, what do we say, about this?
Everything I want in a concept
it.
album.
Buy it.
A story which I'm looking forward to getting more into and reading the lyrics, but a journey. It felt like a journey. It felt cohesive, but every song had an identity. The replay value is going to be amazing, I think, because there's no boredom to be had anywhere on this album. There's not a bad track. There's no skippable tracks.
No,
everything is strong.
There's no fluff here. There's no waste.
No,
Right. Every track builds on the story, and it has its own unique identity. It didn't get boring. It didn't get repetitious. There was a lot of surprises.
And the narrated parts are perfectly placed throughout the album. I mean, that's nice too. Along
Exactly, and that's
so.
a problem that some concept albums have, is too much narration or too much sound effect tracks. I think we've talked about Dream Theater, Astonishing. I think it suffers from that. It does a little bit too much of that. And you're like, okay, I want to just skip these sound effects or whatever. They do enough of that to give you a little snippets of story, but it's about the music.
Balanced. And some of the, it was interesting too. They had these very sparse keyboard things and some symphonic moments I thought was really interesting. And they didn't overkill it. There was no overkill of the, keyboards, or sometimes you fall into that trap too. They're trying to be too artsy fartsy with some concept out. This one doesn't fall in that kind of trap. Keeps its own identity and keeps everything flowing nicely. So.
Yeah, great flow, great identity to each track. That's going to be tough to do, on whatever the 9 tracks total.
10.
What did we just listen to? 10.
Tracks.
For every track to be unique and have its own voice and its own feel and sound and vibe. That's got to be hard to do, man.
Yeah, because you're still working within a larger. If it was a regular album, you don't have to worry about the constraints of an overarching story, to give it a sound. Still a lot of albums have their own unique sound because you're recording in the same studio or whatnot. But this was really cohesive in the sound, the engineering, the sound mixing was a wonderful. But yes, you're right. Every song is unique. It's different. I think the one two unifying things that we have in every track, we have amazing soaring vocals by Tyrant and phenomenal guitar solos, like left and right. Those 30-second notes
Just
in there.
jam packed.
How many more guitar solos can we do? We have space for 5 more, because I've got to do 5 more. And I want to find out, like, just looking forward to asking the guys how production went with this, how the recording, how these things went to go. Because man alive, this is Jag Panzer at the top of their game. I don't know if they've ever sounded better. I mean, this is just a phenomenal record in every way, shape, or form. And we like the band. We've listened to them for years. They just get better. Like, how does this happen? At this point in their career, making some of the best music they've ever made.
Congrats, guys. Well, this is fantastic release.
Yeah, phenomenal album. My God.
I think we've said it all. I mean, I don't know. I mean, we can just repeat ourselves ad nauseum, but I mean, that's it. I go out and buy the record. Go out and see them on tour.
It is worth your money.
Yeah, they are playing in Wisconsin, like sometime in like September or something, or August. I almost was like, hey guys, we got to go see them.
Road trip.
We got a road trip to Wisconsin to go see them. It's like a 3-day metal show, and they're like one of the headliners. I would love to just stop in and surprise them, with cool heavy metal horror swag.
I bet this album would sound great live.
Oh yeah,
I bet this would
like
sound great live.
You're creating a set list. What songs do you not play? Like you gotta unless you're gonna do the whole album, like some bands have done, like Matter.
With the concept, maybe do the whole album.
Yeah, I mean,
I would love that.
I could see this playing in the middle, the meaty part of a set. You want to have a couple openers, then you play this whole album, and then you have a couple big finishers.
Yep.
Yeah, easily, because this album is just phenomenal, top to bottom.
Yeah, every track is worth hearing live.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. It's just phenomenal. Just phenomenal. I want to thank you again, Mark, for being such a friend to us and a fan of the show. We want to thank you for allowing us to listen to the album early. Guys, we want to invite you all on to the show. We'll talk with Mark. You're all welcome. We want to talk about the record. And I want to thank Liz Ciavarella Brenner at Atomic Fire Records for giving us this album in advance copy. Thank you so much for that, Liz. We loved it, obviously, and we are excited to get to talk with the guys, and we hope you enjoy our reaction as well. And for our listeners and watchers, thank you for continuing to support us as well, and to the comments. And yeah, go out and support this record. Go out and support.
Give us one of those. Give us one of those, please.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Is there anything more to say before we scoot on out of here? Okay. You can find Heavy Metal Horror on unsaneradio.com. Listen to full episodes or download to your device. You can find us on Facebook, Heavy Metal Horror Podcast. On Instagram, look for Montag Lewis, one word. Our YouTube page, Heavy Metal Horror Podcast. If you're watching, that's where you're at. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons. And if you know someone who'd like our show, tell them about us. This has been Montag, Master of Illusion.
Chop Top.
And Dreadbull.
You've been watching and listening to Heavy Metal Horror. We're mostly together there. Not so bad.
Great show, guys.
This is Doug Helvering, and you have been listening to Heavy Metal Horror, the best podcast that you've never heard before.